through the misty fells, where the lake winds cry, with a map in hand and a twinkle in his eye. The hills echo steps of a wandering soul. A silver fox grins as he reaches his goal.
Well, good morning everyone. Welcome back to another adventure. And today we're back in the Lake District again, and we're in the Southern Fells, and we're here to do a mountain that I've been putting off for a long time. But the simple fact is, I don't like crowds on mountains, and this is a mountain that more often than not you get crowds. So if you haven't all guessed already, we're here to do two new Wainwrights of Lingmell and Sca Fell Pike. So as you can see, shortly after leaving Wasdale Head car park, across the bridge, and where the hordes carry on going up the main tourist path, I've branched left and I'm heading up the nose of Lingmell, which is a very steep pull. So I think it goes to about 650 metres and then it does flatten out a bit after that, but this initial pull, I don't know if you can see up there, very steep. It's a nice morning, good morning for walking, probably about 16-17 degrees, a nice slight breeze and relatively high cloud. I think the summit of Sca Fell Pike is in the clag at the moment, but hopefully that'll lift. But what fantastic views we have out down Wasdale. I've just realised I've not got my hat on. I think it's in the bag, I'll have to put that on. Here's a mess. Right, so yeah, we're making slow and steady progress. There's no rush today. It's only a possibly 6-7 mile route. There we can see Kirkfell there, and then Wasdale, pillar in the clouds, and the shoot of Wind Gap. Here we've got Barrow, which will be probably my next one. In fact, you can see 3 of the last 7 up to now that I've got remaining. So we've got Barrow, Middle Fell and Buck Barrow. I also need Sea Talon, which is over the back. But this is the steep pull up the nose of Lingmell. Clouds skirting around the Sca Fells. That's looking back down to Wastwater, England's deepest lake. I think is it 60 metres. And then here's Ilgill Head, and then at the back there is into out towards Burnmore Tarn and Burnmore Lodge. Yeah, what a morning. Anyway, so I've got a couple of options today, and it all depends on the weather. I don't need Sca Fell, but if the visibility is okay, I'm going to drop down off Sca Fell Pike to Mickledore and go up Sca Fell via Foxy's Gully. There is a burkitt up there, a Symonds Knott that I need, so I will be able to bag that. But as I say, it all depends on what the clouds are doing up there. If there's no visibility and no views, I'm not going to bother, because Lingmell and Sca Fell Pike are the main two objectives for today's hike. So anyway, I'll put the route on now, and then you'll have a spoiler alert. You'll be able to see which route we actually do. Catch you in a bit. So there we go, that's our route we're doing today. Don't spoil it for me, I'll see which way we go in the not too distant future. But we're making our way slowly up Lingmell. We've just reached this ladder stile here which we're going to cross. The beauty of going left at the double gates that we saw a bit further back there is that we left the main route up to Sca Fell Pike that the hordes use. So you can do Lingmell by following on that route, going up to Lingmell Col and then just doing an out and back to Lingmell. But coming this way, it just gets you away from the crowds for a bit. I mean, we will meet up with them a bit further on, but for the time being, it's just me. There's no one behind me other than sheep, and I can see two people ahead of me. So I would say at the split of that path, I'd say probably maybe 2 out of 10 people go left, everyone keeps right. But yeah, we'll try and keep away from the crowds for as long as we can. Stunning views, as I say, down into the huge bowl of Wasdale, and we can now see red pike, Wasdale's red pike, peeping behind Stirrup Crag on Ewbarrow. And then to the left of Wind Gap is Black Crag. Anyway, chatting like this won't get me up this mountain, so over this stile and let's crack on. So it's starting to clear now, so that's looking down into down onto the main path. It takes you up into an area called Hollow Stones, and then above it here is Sca Fell Pike, and we've got Symonds Knott and Sca Fell. So this may or may not, you'll know by now, might be my walk back. If not, it'll be over the other side of this ridge. Either way, we're gonna have a cracking day. Look at this boy just chilling out in a absolutely beautiful part of the world. So we're just coming up to a little scrambly section now, but while we're here, my advice, for what it's worth, if you are going to do Sca Fell Pike this way and Lingmell, I'd do it this way, because coming up this way you get to see that fantastic view down into Hollowstones and the huge gorge of a valley, whereas if you were in it down there, not quite as impressive. So I don't know, let me know in the comments. You might have done both routes, and I've never been up this way or up that way, so somebody out there will probably be able to tell me better. But personally, I'd rather be here looking down on that view rather than being in that view. Anyway, thought for the day. So it's just this first little bit of a rocky scramble, doesn't look anything too technical, and I think after here it does tend to start flattening out a bit. So it isn't actually really a scramble, it's a stone path that zigzags its way up the hill through the rocks. Yeah, never mind, I thought it was going to be a scramble, but there's probably plenty of scrambling to do later on. I don't know, you tell me. Oh, look at this, Lingmell, you are treating us now. Fantastic, I was not expecting this. A lovely stepped path. See how long it goes on for, shall we? Now we're getting our first views there of Great Gable, well and truly in the cloud this morning. There's Kirkfell's east top. I'm not sure whether I've done Kirkfell's east top. I've done the Wainwrights summit, but I'm not sure whether I have been over the whole of Kirkfell and dropped down and then up to Great Gable, but I can't be too certain. I have gone over its east top, which is a Burkitt, so I'm going to have to go up there again at some point, and it might be next week, I don't know. See what Mr. Ostle's got planned. There we are, those crags getting ever closer, and I've just checked the map because I thought, I wonder if they've got a name, and of course they've got a name. These are Goat Crags. I'd probably be calling it Sheep Crags rather than Goat Crags, but there you go, Goat Crags it is. I don't think it'll be long now before we're at the summit, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, so here we are, just to the base now of Goat Crags, just shy of the summit of Lingmell. Oh, I tell you what, there's no sun, but it's warm. It really is warm. I'm glad I started in the t-shirt, because I think if I hadn't, I don't think I'd have been going too far before it was off. It is warm. Anyway, there we go, the path, just, you can see the path there just weaving its way through the crags, so I think it's a good path all the way. Don't think there'll be any scrambling or anything like that, but you never know. There we are, our first views of the summit of Lingmell come into view, and then this drop in the middle here is Lingmell Col, where we'll drop down to and then move across, and you can see the main Sca Fell Pike path snaking up with the... There isn't that many people on it, I thought there'd be more, to be honest. This fell here is Broad Crag, where me and Mr. Ostle had our fantastic cloud inversion last year. Absolutely stunning conditions. But yeah, it won't be long now. Another fantastic view there of Great Gable. Looks like it's slowly starting to clear. The clouds lifting there. There is a route round that traverses the back of Great Gable. In fact, I think there's a route that traverses the whole way around the mountain. That might be fun. I might have to give that a go one of these days. Kirk Fell again there, and then Pillar still in the clouds, and then we can see the scree path going up to Wind Gap, and then just to the left of that is Black Crag, and then Red Pike. But anyway, for us, up here. And then here we are on our first mountain of the day, and it's the Wainwright of Lingmell, 803 metres. Bosh! And look at these views. Oh my word. So yeah, there's Broad Crag, and that'll be Great End, and I think that's Middle Boot. Nobody ever comes here. Knott. That's looking down to Styhead Tarn there, over to Great Gable. So that'll be Glaramar over there, and that's looking down into Seathwaite. And then there's a camper there. So that's Lingmell Col, so that's where we're going next. And then to the summit of Sca Fell Pike, right in the centre of the shot. Anyway, I'll just take you down there because I think that's the true summit, the highest point. But I'll take you down there to have a look at the drops down here. It's absolutely stunning. Stunning. Surprisingly enough, these are what we call Lingmell Crags. And then that scar there, that deep scar going all the way up to where the paths cross, that's Piers Gill, the infamous Piers Gill. Not a place to be. In fact, I believe they put a sign now at the top of it saying, saying don't go past this point, turn back, this is not a path. There is a path that runs up the side of Piers Gill, which Andy Foster's done, which I believe is an absolute cracking walk and gives you a great look down into the gill, but don't ever go down there. Yeah, so fantastic. It's a steep drop down there, look. Steep drop down there. So yeah, so I'm going to drop off the summit, I think, get down to the col. I can already see hordes of people up on the top of Sca Fell Pike. But it won't be too long before we're up there. But look at that vista. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely stunning. Just amazing. Amazing. Just over there in the middle of the shot is the worst kept wild camping secret spot in the Lake District, Lambfoot Dub. With a couple of little tarns here. But yeah, I'm sure that's Middle Boot, nobody ever goes here, Knotts. Fantastic. What views. Right, there we go, that's me leaving summit of Lingmell. I've been up there for about 15 minutes having a chat with a gentleman who was wild camping overnight. I don't think I said on the summit when I topped out, that's Wainwright 208, so another 6 left now, one that we're going to bag very shortly. So yeah, so we're just dropping down now to Lingmell Col, and you can see that's the path from Wasdale joining from the right, and then from the left is the corridor route. So this is basically where 3 paths really converge in readiness for the final push up to the summit, which is just over that ridgeline. Stunning day, absolutely stunning day. Right, there we go. That's me down from Lingmell up there. And we're properly down into Lingmell Col now. So we cross this little wall here, and then you can can see the line of people heading up. This is the part of the walk that I wasn't looking forward to. I probably won't do a great deal of filming because I'm just still not comfortable talking to the camera in front of people. But absolutely glorious day. Glorious day. Perfect day for walking. Just hopefully that wispy bit of cloud shifts by the time we get up there. There's another view there in the centre of Ilgill Head. And then out to Middle Fell and Buckbarrow with Sea Talon just peeping behind. There we are, that's looking back to Lingmell, Kirkfell behind in the sunshine. Great Gable nearly out of the clouds, Green Gable behind it, base brown on the end. Making good headway now. I'm not stopping to do much filming, just let's get up there. Not far to go now. I've just said to 3 lads, I didn't think at 9:15 in the morning I'd be swimming against the tide. There seems to be more people on the way down than there is up. It really does. I was very surprised. Yeah, the last final pull up to the summit, and the sun is trying to make an appearance. Boss. Right, there we are, our second mountain of the day, of Sca Fell Pike, Wainwright, 978 metres. It's too busy for me, so I'm going to head over there to the south summit and have something to eat and drink away from the people. Wainwright number 209, 5 left. Yeah, there's the podium. Too many people. Let's get over there and get away from the crowd. Alright guys, I can only apologise for the fleeting visit up at the summit of England's highest mountain. It deserved better than that, but there's too many people up there. So that was Sca Fell Pike, 978 metres. Wainwright number 209. So this is the south summit, and nobody very much comes over here, but look at the views you get from the south summit down to the Great Moss, over to Broad Crag and Hill Crag. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The clouds whipping in. That's down to Mickledore where we're heading next. Spoiler alert, we are going to do Foxy's Gully, so we're going to head down there, round Broad Stand and up Foxy's Gully to Sca Fell Pike and Symonds Knott. Look at that view, that is far better than the summit view. Fantastic. Not many people show you this view. Me and Mr. Hostel probably about the only ones. So when you come up to Sca Fell Pike, get yourself to this outcrop of rock. It's quite prominent. It's the south summit. It's not classified, but what a view you get from here. Absolutely stunning. Look at that. Down to the Samson Stones. There's Penn, we did this time last year probably. Absolutely amazing. What a view. What a view. So I think I told you some duff information before. I said that was Penn. That's not Penn, that's Campspout Crags. This is Penn down here. Very, very tough mountain to get to. In fact, it looks easier to get to from here than it does from down in the Great Moss. Anyway, the views are starting to open up now. The summit's clear, as you can see. I'm not going back up there. I'm not going back up there. So our path takes us down there. I can see the stretcher box. I don't know whether you can. And then we follow that down, and then I can see the gully going up there. And then that takes us to Foxy's Tarn, and then it's the final pull up. This one here is our next hill, Symonds Knott, Burkitt, and then on to Sca Fell Pike, and then from Sca Fell Pike dropping down, back down to the car park. Yeah, what a view from up here. People, come to this south summit. do not just stay on that main summit. It's fantastic. There's Hill Crag there. Great stuff. Yo, that's me off the south summit there, that prominent rock there, so you can see how close it is to the main summit, which is just up there. But I would advise you to go over there. You do get a far better view down the Great Moss. So I'm just heading over now to pick up the main path that takes us down to Mickledore. And now our next two hills are in the clear, so Symonds Knott right on the end here, and then moving over to Sca Fell. I think it's at Sca Fell where I'm going to have my dinner, because I know there's a wind shelter up there. So hopefully we can get tucked in there and have something to eat. Yeah, let's get down to Mickledore in the stretcher box. Right, there we go. That's me. Made it over the boulder field, and we're now on the path down to Mickledore, marked by these fantastic guidance cairns. Still got to be careful, still very bouldery up here. Yeah, hopefully this walk should be a bit less quiet now. It should go back to how it was before we got onto that main Sca Fell Pike path. So we're making good progress now down to the Mickledore stretcher box. In front of us there is a huge bulk of broad stand, and that's where a lot of people come a cropper coming off. There isn't a direct walking route from Sca Fell Pike to Sca Fell, and a lot of people in bad weather think there is and walk to the end of there and straight off. Or get themselves crag fast. So yeah, you've got to come down here and then drop down and go up Foxy's Gully. What a fantastic view. And there is once again a view of the finest nuclear power plant the United Kingdom has to offer. Once again, we saw it last time on Langrig. We'll see it again, dropping down to the coal between Sca Fell and Sca Fell Pike. Look at those views. All the way out now today we'd see Coniston Old Man and Dow Crag. Superb. The pointy one in the middle is Heart of Fell, and then we've got the ridge of Hard Knot, and then on the end is Border End. Superb. The sun has come out now. I've been blessed, but I couldn't have stayed up on that summit. Too many people. So I enjoyed my time on the south summit on my own. That was nice, that. But yeah, making good progress now. I'm looking forward to this now. Okay. So that's me just arriving at the Wasdale Mountain Rescue stretcher box at Mickledore. So this is where Mountain Rescue keeps some of their kit if needed. That's where we are. There we go, there's the grid reference. For anybody who's interested, wants to look it up on the map. Yeah. So I think our path takes us down there and round, I think, but I'll have to check the map. I don't want to be going wrong here. But yeah, Wasdale's Mickledore stretcher box. So from the stretcher box I've checked the map, so this is our path down here, and then the gully starts round about where I'm pointing now and heads up that. You can, I don't know whether you can make out, there's like a wall goes in between there, and it's in 2 stages. So let's get going. What view we're going to have walking. We're going to be careful walking down here because it's very loose underfoot, but we'll take our time, loads of time. Right, that's me down from pretty much to the bottom of Foxy's Gully. That path was tough coming down there. I don't know what it is with Foxy's paths and loose stone. It's a bit like the one in Cadair Idris that I did recently. That was equally as tough. So following this path, and I think the start of the gully is just not far round to our right hand side now, but I'm eager to get going because there is some people following me and I don't want to let them get in front of me. I'd rather have them behind me in the gully than ahead of me. So anyway, I'll bring you back at the start of the gully. Right, so there's the start of the gully up there, So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a beeline off the path that we're on now over to the start of the gully, rather than going down there and then coming back round. So it's basically cutting over there to the start of the gully. This cairn here marks the start of the ascent up Foxy's Gully. Now, as I say, it's in 2 stages. Goes up 1 stage and then it hangs a right for the 2nd stage. But it's boiling now. I'm going to derobe and I'm going to put the poles away, because there's quite a bit of scrambling involved in this. So I won't need, the poles will be a hindrance, I think. So yeah, let's get these poles away, top off, and let's get up there. Right, here we go. The start of the Foxy's Gully ascent. Not much water coming down it, thank the Lord. Just got to be mindful of not kicking stones down onto people, because there are people following on behind me. I think it looks to me to let me stay up to the right hand side. But there is water coming down, so we've got to be very mindful that we don't step on any slippy bits. Yeah, it's been good fun so far. That's looking back up to Sca Fell, where we were before. Just got to keep, by the looks of it, you just got to stick to the right hand side. Mossy section here that we need to switch sides now, up that side past that huge great rock up there. I'd be amazed if all this is coming out of Foxy's Tarn. It's on the other side of a puddle. Look at those views though. What views. Oh, I'm glad the chance to come this way. I'm loving this. Fantastic. What fun. It's not as loose as I was expecting it actually. It's all quite pretty sturdy. I'm making good progress. I think I'm nearly at the top of the 1st stage. Just up there, look. This is brilliant. Wouldn't like to do it in the winter when the water's thundering down it, mind. Good stuff. And that's looking back now, down where we've come from. 2 people at the bottom with a dog umming and ahhing, I think. There's a good view of Bowfell and the Crinkles. Anyway, let's get up here. There on the way down. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes, let them get quite far down before I start walking, because this is quite loose and I don't want to I don't want to fling any down on them. Anyway, I'm going to get going because there's people. That's me at the end of stage 1. We've come up there and then the path goes up here a bit and then it jinks to the right. So these are the crags underneath Sca Fell. A bit further over there the slight side, and then our next objective is Symonds Knott, which is right on the very end above Broad Stand. So who guessed right then? Who guessed that I would be going back via Foxy's Gully, Sca Fell Pike and Symonds Knott, or who expected me to go the mundane way back? I was always going to go this way, wasn't I? I certainly was. If it was clear of clouds, there wouldn't be any point going up this way in the clag. But when it's like this, it'd be rude not to go up this way. So there we are. There's Sca Fell Pike behind. And then we've come down to the bottom of the gully and straight up, and are now stood in the kind of flat bit between the 2 sections. I think the 2nd section starts literally just up there, so not too far from the summit really. not too far from the summit at all. Right, end of stage 1A, and here we have possibly the smallest tarn in the Lake District, Foxy's Tarn. There we have it, people, Foxy's Tarn. And it is named on the map. I'll put a picture up now, but that is it. That is it. But it's nice to finally get here, and then I think our next stage is up there. So given the fact that that was Foxy's Gully and this is Foxy's Tarn, I'm guessing that that's Foxy's Tarn done. That's just like a scree path. So that was Foxy's Gully. Really good fun. Definitely recommend that. Really recommend that. Good fun. In the dry and it's clear. Real good fun. Not difficult. Really easy. Really easy. Brings you to this magnificent little bowl under Sca Fell, which is up there. Nice. Very nice. And I would suggest, lovely bit of flat grass there, so I suspect a lot of people pitch the tents there. Right, come on, up there, and I'll bring you out when we get to our next destination of Symonds Knott. I'm not gonna lie, this is harder than the Gully. I was looking back down to the Tarn, over the great moss to the crinkles, Bowfell, Sca Pike, Sca Fell Pikes, south top. Just get to the top of this ridge and I think we broke the back of it. Okay, so that cairn there denotes the end of the Foxy's Gully ascent. Now in the col between Sca Fell and Symonds Knott. So we're just going to head up to Symonds Knott, and I think that's where we're going to have something to eat and a drink and a good 20 minutes, half an hour break. So we'll catch you on the summit of Symonds Knott. Right, here we are, and our third mountain of the day, and our second to last, or penultimate for the clever people. It's the Burkitt of Symonds Knott at 959 metres. The cairn looks like it's been demolished. Bosh. And look at those views. Just look at those views down to Wastwater and over there to Ewbarrow. Pillar is now clear, and then we've got Red Pike, Black Crag, Sea Talon, Middle Fell, Buck Barrow. That one in the big one in the distance is, oh, is it Haycock or Core? One of the two. Kirk Fell, Great Gable, Sca Fell Pike now in the clouds, and it's South Summit. That's where we were, so you can see it's just a short walk. That's the summit. That's where I stopped and saw them great views down the Great Moss. Over to Bowfell, Crinkle Crags, Coniston Range. Superb, and then it's a short jaunt to our final hill of Sca Fell, which is only just over there. But I think I'm going to try and head down there and have my dinner on the end. There we go. Not a bad lunch spot, is it? So there's the ridge that we walked up at the start of the walk, up onto Lingmell. So that's where the steep bit, and then it flattened out, if you remember, and then we went over Goat Crags, and then the short pull up to the summit of Lingmell, and then we dropped down to the col, before the ascent up to Sca Fell Pike. Fantastic. It's great when you can look back at where you've been. And it does look steep up that nose, but it's that initial bit. Once you get there, it's not so bad then. It's just a bimble really. It's not like the route up the nose of Kirk Fell, which looks an absolute killer. Absolute killer, that one. Right, so that's me fed and watered. I think I'm going to start heading over to Sca Fell. I'll just, while I'm here, just show you what else we can see from up here. So we can see the high style range there. High style, high crag, red pike where we were last week. And then over to the big lump in the middle there is Grassmoor. And then right in the north we can see over to Skidder and over to Blencathra. And I can just make out Derwent Water. So what a view it is from up here. So without further ado, let's get this backpack on the back and let's get over to the short jaunt over there to Sca Fell. Okay, that's me down from Symonds Knott there, just up there, and now we're heading over towards Sca Fell, which is only up there, 2 minutes we'll be there. Not a new Wainwright, this one. On Sca Fell 3 times? No, twice. This will be my 3rd time. So yeah, not a new fell, but it will be the first time I've had clear views. So that's a bonus. That's a Brucey bonus. Oh, it has gone rather chilly now actually. A bit of a breeze picked up here and it's a cool one. I'll be glad to get down and out of this. I have got the gloves and the woolly hat in the bag if needed. They will be deployed. Hopefully not though. It is bloody August after all. So I'll bring you back to the top of Sca Fell. So here we are. Final hill of the day and the 4th one of Sca Fell. And it's a Wainwright 963 metres wash for the 3rd time. Absolutely fantastic. So that's looking over to Sca Fell Pike, and you can kind of see why people think you can do a direct route over, but you can't. Your 2 routes are either via Lord's Rake or Foxy's Gully, which we did today. Absolutely brilliant. So there's a shelter cairn if you want one, but absolutely fantastic. So 4 hills, 2 new Wainwrights, take me up to 209. Now we can see down towards Burnmore Tarn and Burnmore Lodge, Ilgill Head Wind Rig, and the outlying Wainwright boat house. Brilliant. Right, we've got to get off this mountain now some way. Somewhere down there I think it is. Okay, so summit of Sca Fell, just up there. Dropped off, picked up the path now, which is going to take us down off the mountain and down to that big grassy area in front of Green Howe. And so we cross over that and eventually picking up the path that goes from Wasdale Head out towards the Wind Rig and the likes and Ilgill Head. So it gets a bit gnarly now for the next probably half an hour, so I'll probably bring you back when we're off the sketchy bit, because it's quite loose this path, so I'm going to take my time and watch where I'm putting my feet. Oh my god, this path is horrible. Give me bog. I want bog. Oh, it's terrible. It's so difficult to walk down. You've got to be so careful. I've nearly gone 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I want some bog. I want to get onto that flat bit and I want bog. Oh. Still, stupendous views. Look at that. That path. I've left the path and I've come off piste. I'm going over the boulders. It's easier than that path, a lot easier. At least my feet won't go from underneath me on this. Okay, so that's me off that awful shale stone path. I'm onto grass now, much easier walking. So we're not too far really from the end of this walk. Lovely views now towards Tarn, Burnmore Lodge, back left hand corner of it. An area of the Lake District that I absolutely love. The other end of Burnmore Tarn, there's a little, you can see that little V, that valley of Mickledore is a fantastic little valley to walk down. Lovely little valley. Really recommend that. Even if you literally just park the car, walk up the valley to the lodge, have your dinner, turn around, walk back. Superb little walk, fantastic. So this area on the map here in front of us is Green How, so we kind of skirt over this and then eventually drop back down onto the path that takes us back into Wasdale Head. Lovely views again of Wastwater and all the fells I've named earlier on in the video. All completely out of the cloud now. Pillar looking fine there at the head of Mosdale. Kirk Fell, what a bulk of a mountain that is. And then that's looking back up to where we've come from, at Sca Fell. So as we reach a point where on the map we see these crags here, they're rake head crags, but we can pretty much see our whole route today, so I thought I'd bring you back. So this ridge here, that's the ridge that we walked up, the steep ridge up to Lingmell, and then you can see the point where it then flattens out a little bit and goes along. There's Great Gable at the back, and then you hit them crags there that were Goat Crags, over Goat Crags, and then we can see the summit of Lingmell, and then we then drop down into Lingmell Col before picking up the main route, Sca Fell to Sca Fell Pike, which is up there. Then we drop down to Mickledore, which is over this ridge here that you can't quite see, up to Symonds Knott on the end, the short walk over to Sca Fell, and then the awful stone shale path down. But we're on a good path now and we're not too far along away from the car. I can see the campsite there in that trees, and then the nearest set of trees, that's where the car park is. There's the Wasdale Head Inn down there at the foot of Mosdale. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Straight ahead in the middle of the shot there, I can actually make out the Isle of Man. I don't know whether it comes out on camera. I'll take a photo and then I'll put it on the screen if it comes out and it's half decent. Yeah, you can see the Isle of Man. Okay, that's me nearly back at the car. Probably 20 minutes I'll be there, and probably going to come in this walk at around about 7 miles. So today we've done 4 fells, 3 new ones, more importantly 2 of the Wainwrights I needed, which is Lingmell and Sca Fell Pike, and then we popped over to the Birket of Symonds Knott, and then over to the other Wainwright of Sca Fell via the fantastic Foxy's Gully. Love that, great little scramble, really enjoyed that. So 5 more Wainwrights to do to complete them over 3 walks, 1 in the Southern Fells and then 2 more over in the Wasdale area. So thanks for watching. If you still are, absolutely fair play to you, and we'll catch you out in the mountains next time. Take care guys, all the best.